The most straightforward way to do any composite is to use a green screen or a blue screen. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's the simplest way. We avoided extensive green screening for many years back when we were working with standard definition DV footage. But now that HD has become the standard, we find ourselves keying almost every day. Now the first step is to make sure that your screen is nice and evenly lit, and that it covers the entire area that your actor is going to be walking past. In reality though, that's not always possible to do. Like in this shot from our wacky 30 short, The Day the President Moved Thanksgiving. Here's another easier shot from that film. Let's begin by creating a garbage mat. We'll throw a solid in there and mask loosely around our subject. Then we'll put the solid's blending mode to stencil alpha. We're going to use key light for our key. You pick the screen color, then the default settings that I always set key light to before I even look at the key are pre-blur 0.5, clip black 20, clip white 80, softness 0.5, replace method hard color, and then I view my combined matte and see how horrible my life will be for the next couple hours. To tweak these results, I take the clip black up and the clip white down until I get it all whites and blacks. Let's take a look at final now. To take out that edge, we use shrink grow. I usually find myself doing this around -1. It generally sharpens the edge a bit, so after that, I use Red Giant Composite Wizard's Edge Blur plugin to soften those edges. In a shot like this, you're going to want to cut out the eyeglasses and hair and treat them as separate layers with their own key light settings. Here's another shot that has some problems when things intersect. When this happens, you just gotta rotoscope a tiny wedge and get rid of that light section. It's painful, but at least it's not as bad as this roto. Once we match the luminance and color, the shot composites pretty well. It's easier here because the final shot is in black and white. This footage had a lot of motion blur that was choked when we keyed. What we can do is add motion blur to the layer by using a plugin such as Real Smart Motion Blur. This is also going to blur the inside of the key, not just the edge, so a good mentality on set is to shoot green screen with a fast shutter and add all the motion blur with this plugin. Unfortunately here, we just forgot to do that. But it's okay because a lot of times the double motion blur, it's not even noticeable in footage, and you could just lessen the settings. Here's a shot in color from our 1950s instructional film, Keep Watching the Skies. We've still got just a bit of green spill on the shoulder and the side of the face. We can use the edge color correction in key light to help. We take edge grow and edge softness up to about 20. Select green for the color to suppress, and adjust the hue and saturation to get the desired color. A lot of times color bleeding is going to have to be added to help the composite. Now you could use all sorts of preset light wrap effects for this, but here's a method that is more controllable, even though it's incredibly convoluted. Let's look at this shot from our sci-fi B-movie, Southwestern Orange County versus the Flying Saucers. This composition has the keyed layer already composited. Duplicate the composition and put the key layer on Silhouette Alpha. Then drag that into a new comp, copy the key layer, and blur the background. Now use the pasted layer of the guy as an alpha matte. Bring this back into the composite and see which blending mode and opacity works best. Sometimes it's color, sometimes it's overlay or soft light, screen, or even normal. You can see plenty of high contrast black and white green screening in The Day the President Moved Thanksgiving, or some VistaVision style color composites in Keep Watching the Skies. And don't forget those befuddled blue screen tourists in Southwestern Orange County versus the Flying Saucers.